Alright, I already made the disassembly video for this GW056 G-Shock watch before, but this time I'm going to be a separate one because I'm going to try to modify this watch because as you guys can see, already beaten up. Look at all this side over here. Well, this part is rescuable, but this part aren't because this is a part of the strap down here. Look at that. It's broken. There's no way to reattach this thing back in, so all we have to do is just replace this strap only or the entire thing. Look at that thing down there. It's a rust, so this watch was indeed heavily beaten up. Probably have to swap the spring bar as well down there, but we'll see how it goes. So let's get to it. I have a replacement parts ready. This is how it's supposed to look like. So there's a hole for screws which hide underneath these two buttons closely together. So in order to remove this side of the bezel, I have to remove that screw first. But in order to remove the screw first, I have to enter in here, disassemble the movement. But notice that there's a lot of dust on the outside, so I have to clean it up before open this case. Alright, here's something that I really need to focus on. Notice that it is clear. Here's my finger, and when I ran through this dial, look at that. There's a fogginess. We call this the fog because there's some sort of vapor that goes underneath here, and it got trapped between this glass solar panel and the actual glass over here. Now to clean it up, all you have to do is just wipe it out, but you have to remove this front glass, right? In order to do that, you have to press this glass from the back, and then this glass will press this glass, pull everything back out. The problem is that this solar panel glass is so thin, it's really fragile, that it will literally break if I will attempt to remove this thing. I could still use the black bezel as is as well, just plug in a new better bezel. Let's try and do that real quick just to see how the watch gonna end up looking. Here's an idea. I have a red strap on the upper side here. Let's go plug it like so. A blue band on this other side, and just gonna plug it like so. Alright, that's the idea here, but black side really makes it looks a bit odd, a bit small, so I prefer to use white version instead. Just know we got some tricolor red, white and blue going on over here. Okay, so let's try and do that. Makes the watch a bit more colorful. Alright guys, here are all the parts being laid out, which is pretty basic, straightforward, just a few of them, but this video ended up being really long just because of this section only. But first, the hard case, nothing's broken, all the rust have been cleaned up. This is the metal frame, which could be polished a little bit with the hairline finishing, just a few scrap in this direction, and then it should be good. Same goes with this one as well, but I'm not gonna talk a lot about these things. The gasket still looking fine, I could still use those. The gasket for the back, this is all the buttons, the screws, and the E-clips, so put this aside. So this is the bezel. I got 3 color over here. There's the original one in black colorway. I could use those as well, but we already talked about those. By the end of the video, I'm just gonna assemble the entire thing. Perhaps I'm gonna go with, you'll see how it goes. You could skip this part of the video if you wanted to. Next up is the movement. It's still working, even though look at that, it is on power saving because the solar panel is not attached to it, so I didn't realize there's a light present. So if I were to press this button, boom. So it is not as bright as far as the screen contrast goes, but it is still working fine. It is much better than before, and this is the glass. Notice that little part here that is missing, which should go like this. Well, if you check the previous part of the video where I tried to remove or separate both of these, there's this glue underneath here in this black section, and as I was cleaning it up, you can see that it is so strong that I end up removing even this black, I would say, outer lining for the glass, right? It ended up looking like this, scratches there, right? So I decided to just scrap them off using this piece of knife. I just scrap all this sticker over here, the black, including this gray line at the center here. So just remove it entirely, but I left some of it left here so you can see how it looks like before. It didn't look as nice with all these marks over here and there, so I decided to just remove the entire thing and leave it some of it. You know, it still look kind of good, still kind of okay, especially when you consider when we have to put this solar panel back in like so. Still look fairly good. I think I could remove the entire black lining. We'll be missing the gray lines for the frame, but overall I think it didn't affect the overall look as much. But remember, look at that, it is still sticky, a bit sticky. So the glass is the hardest thing to remove. I managed to clean it up with some acetones, and you can see some of the glue left over there on the side, which is so hard to remove, which I'm gonna try to do afterwards as well. And looking at it from the back, still working fine. You can see the connections over here. To put it on to the movement, I think look somewhat like that, much clearer, unlike before where there's a bit of fogginess going on top of that. So I already cleaned it up with just wipe it up. So easy to do, but getting to this point is the hardest part. Look at that, it is so much clearer than before. Okay, so with that said, all I have to do now is wipe out some of the smudge with my fingerprints on here and put everything back together. And for that, let's give you guys some example here. So this is the glass on there. I should have added the solar panel underneath it, but anyway, let's put this thing on top. Alright, that's how it's supposed to look like. The original idea is to go with this white side piece here, somewhat like that, and a red piece at the top and blue piece at the bottom. So it have this red, white, and blue. But I decided instead of goes with white, let's go with red on this side, and I could just leave it like that, still look good. And I decided to go with blue on this side. Look at that. Maybe I'll just stick with the original bezel, I think, black over here. Anyway, you could comment down below which color combination you think is the best. I'll try it out, and in order to do so, remember, check this out. Here's another tip for you guys. Right, the hardest part with this modding process, the band bezel is easy to remove, but this screws over here is the thing. This thing is what makes the entire process hard, because we have to remove the buttons just to remove this bezel over here. So what I recommend you to do, check this out, cut this up. Right, look at that, we don't need this. This part already have the screws over here that lock it in place. It won't go anywhere, just remove it. All right, now once I put everything back in, if I don't like the final result of it, I could just remove these screws and bam, everything will comes out. I don't have to remove the buttons anymore, so I could just swap to different colors. I could go even crazy like one of these easily, like took about a minute or so. So much easier, much more convenient than before. So that's my goal here. By the way, you could still use plug the screws in there. You don't have to just screw this thing on there. This is not original parts. If you have original parts, if you want to try cut it up, you could, depending, entirely up to you guys. But with that said, I'm gonna assemble everything back in. We'll see how the final result goes. Until then, Thank you very much for watching, guys. This is G-Shock High Fashion channel, and